disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me, as always, my podcast partner, Joe Hartley. What's up, man?
What's going on?
Angel Diaz will be with us shortly. He is on his way to his equipment, so he'll jump on pretty soon. If this is your first time with us, I want you to know we are members of the Martial Arts Center Network. On Tuesdays, you got the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. Thursdays is us, Fists, Kicks, and Flicks with Gene, Joe, and Angel. Wednesday, you got the traditional way with Brett Shumway. And then once a month, you got the extra scoop with Jeff and Peyton. For more information, you can check us out on all of our social media platforms. Just look for the Martial Arts Internet Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon. Joe, it's showtime. I probably should have, you know what? I was thinking as I was doing the intro that I probably should have talked about the new podcast that me and Angel we're actually recording tonight. I just didn't talk to Travis about what day it's coming out on, so I don't know. So
Well,
that's why I didn't mention that. And then also don't forget you can listen to Joe and I's other show, Super Flicks. Just check out Super Flicks on all of your podcasting platforms and also on YouTube. Show's starting to pick up a little bit too, Joe. Having fun doing that show.
I really do too. And you know what's great? I don't know if I sent it. Did I send you the top 15 Batman movies from Rotten Tomatoes list?
I don't remember seeing that. I mean,
I haven't been today.
I haven't been on social media as much as I'm normally am.
I came across it today, and I hope I sent it to you, but maybe I didn't. Surprising. The
you
first
said top
one,
15.
they some of the animated ones made it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, well, I don't remember 15 Batman movies. Okay.
Yeah, some of the animated ones made it, and stuff like that. But the ones that I put at the bottom are there. I might have ranked them differently, but they're right there. And the ones at the top are kind of funny, but the one we're about to do, the 1966 Batman, is like right in the middle. It's like it was got 80 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
So I'm really curious how that. Now I'm like more curious of how that's going to be.
I have not seen that, man. It's been so long since I've seen that movie. It had to have been in the 80s when I saw it.
Because I feel like some of that
playing with my toys and not really paying attention.
Yeah, but sometimes because Rotten Tomatoes wasn't around, obviously, when that movie came out. So I feel like the only people ranking, you know what? I'm gonna go look it up on Rotten Tomatoes later and see how many people actually, because it'll show you like the amount of people that actually ranked it. Because I'm curious, because I feel like that's one of those that only like a fanfare of people would probably rate. You know what I'm saying? Most of the stuff that gets rated is the newer stuff that's coming out now. I think only like a group of so many people would actually go back and rate older movies. I mean, I do because I'm a little nuts, but well, there's movies out there that I like that don't have good ratings, and it or the critics rate them bad, and it pisses me off because I'm like, I'm a huge Adam Sandler fan.
Yeah, I am too.
And all of Adam Sandler's stuff until his first movie that like the critics and the people actually liked was Little Nicky. I'm like,
they didn't like Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison?
Not really. They didn't. The critics tore Adam Sandler movies, like his first 5 or 6 movies, all got torn to shreds by critics, but the people loved them.
Yeah, man.
So a lot of his.
I saw Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison when I was in college, man, and those movies just killed me when I first saw
The Water Boy, Big Daddy. I thought Big Daddy would, and I'm just like,
when I became a father, I can relate to that movie.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I wish, sometimes there could be critics that actually take into account, like, okay, Adam Sandler is going to be Adam Sandler in these movies. Until Uncut Gems, he plays the same character pretty much all the time. He's goofy, he's silly, he's a little,
Well, he
annoying
has two
sometimes, but that's what he does.
he has two versions of himself that he plays in movies. Either he
Yes.
is like Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, goofy, nerdy kind of guy,
Yeah.
or he has another character where he's like the ridiculous cool guy. Like he was in Grown Ups and what was the other movie? 51st Dates, and also he even showed up on King of Queens, and he was real
Yeah.
cool on King of Queens. So those are the two roles that I see from him.
But the other thing I really like about him is, he got into Hollywood, got huge, and then he brought all his friends with him.
Yeah,
Some of those people without him never would have got famous.
yeah, I agree.
You go through and you see, and then a couple of them got their own movies later on
Hmm.
because, that nobody would have known about these guys. Nobody would have cared about these guys,
Yeah.
but he brought them up with him and let them, shine with him. And I don't know. I find that that's more important sometimes than some of these people who are just like, they step on other people to get where they are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I always
So,
believe that Grown Ups. If Chris Farley didn't die, that he would have been in the Kevin
oh
James
my,
role. I believe I believe
100%.
that because everybody in Grown Ups, they all work together on Saturday Night Live. Everybody, Rob
Yep.
Schneider,
Hmm.
Chris Rock, David Spade, Adam Sandler. They were all boys on Saturday Night Live, and Chris Farley was also part of that group of guys with them. So I have no idea where Kevin James come from. I like Kevin James. I like his stuff that he does, and I know he's part of. I know. Um, Adam Sandler produces pretty much all of his movies, so they obviously are friends with each other. But I
Yeah,
always
I
thought like,
think
man, this movie would have been. I like Grown Ups, but I think it would have been a lot crazier with Chris Farley there.
it would have been a whole new movie.
Yeah, yeah, probably
I
so.
mean, probably one
He
that he
probably would have
took over
stole. He
one way
probably
or
would have
another.
stole the show. The show. He would have probably would have stole the show.
He always does.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
because I like the movies
that.
that him and David Spade did together. Black
Oh
Sheep
yeah,
and
Tommy
Tommy
Boy and
Boy.
Black Sheep
Yeah,
were classic movies. Man,
yeah,
you just can't. They don't make movies. Some of those movies nowadays would just get canceled,
probably so. Probably so.
which is
Yeah,
annoying because it's like, to me, comedy is speculative. Like,
yeah.
you
Well,
either like
entertainment.
certain things or you don't, but
Hmm.
you have a choice not to watch it. So to
Hmm.
cancel something just because you don't like it, a lot of other people will like it. So just don't watch it.
Hmm.
But it's the people that are like, I'm gonna watch this to tell you that it needs to be canceled, and I'm gonna cancel it. It drives me nuts.
Hmm. Yeah.
But other than that, man, I ain't really been doing much this week. Kind of chilling, work, but you know how like something's gonna happen, but you just don't know when. I finally got that
Yeah.
damn cold going around this family.
Did we just talk about that last week? I don't know. I don't know if it was on Fist Kicks and Flicks or if it was
I
on
think it was on
Superflix.
Superflix. I said it was probably coming my way, and I was
Uh-huh.
trying to avoid it. Could
Okay.
only dodge and weave for so long, man.
Uh-huh.
Because my wife had it for 2 weeks. She still has it. My daughter got over it. My other daughter, I don't know if she got it or not ever. Knock
Hmm.
on wood. But if she did, she had it early. And my son is just getting over it. But I'm like, how do I avoid something for 2 weeks? Like, I've literally been perfectly fine. And then yesterday after dinner, I felt the sinuses in my
Uh-huh.
throat, and then I started sneezing. I was like, and my wife's like, "You getting sick?" I'm like, nope, I'm not getting sick. Nope, nope. And then right before bed, I'm like, dang it, I gotta take something because this is terrible. So
Well,
yeah,
I mean, are you the last one?
yeah,
Yeah. And
that's
you said
normally
that.
how it is. But
Yeah.
I've never 2 weeks. I'm like, y'all couldn't
Yeah.
get better, so I couldn't get this crap.
I'm surprised you don't walk around with a utility belt when they get sick of just, sanitizer and air spray and Lysol and everything as you
It's
move throughout your
unavoidable.
house.
It's unavoidable, man. My kids, they are all over everything. They touch everything. They wash their hands pretty good, but not all the time. But then the other problem is, if I got a cup of water laying around, they all drink out of it.
That's different.
And I tell
That's
them, I said, I don't like it when you do that when you're not sick, but when you're sick, don't touch my stuff.
right. Right.
Like, that drives me crazy. Don't get me sick that way. Come on, man. But
Mhm.
kids are gonna be kids. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. So, but
You got-
I'll kick this. I'll kick this in 2 days because I'm coming up on my days off. I want to enjoy my days off, not
Be sick.
sitting around with snot rags and cough drops and tussing.
Right. Right. I
So
feel you,
yeah,
man.
other than that, man, um, we ain't really been doing much. My mom is going out today with the family. My uncle's getting a Hall of Fame award for photography.
Okay.
I'm not exact. I had to find out a little bit more about that, but there was limited tickets. So my mom,
Mhm.
they took my mom, which is fine. I think that'll be nice. There's a whole dinner and a couple of things that go with it, and then some speeches. So I told him to take
Mhm.
some pictures, and I'll talk about it tomorrow. So I think
Okay.
that's cool because
All
he
right.
he used to work for the Free Press.
Mhm. Okay.
In fact, that's where him and my aunt met. So he worked for the Free Press as a photographer. She was a journalist,
What a
and then
wow. That's Jimmy and Lois Lane right there.
right, right, pretty much. I didn't even think of it that way. That's crazy. So, and he's even after the strike, because somehow I still don't remember the story fully. But during the strike, my uncle got fired like multiple times. I'm like, how do you get fired more than once? He's like, I don't know. I don't know if they like the union brought him back and then fired him again or something, but he got let go multiple times, and then he always had a job freelance. He worked
Mhm.
for a couple of different schools. I think uh, um, maybe even helping out with at MSU. Um, cool. What's the one School of Creative Studies, something like that. Because a couple of my
Oh yeah,
friends
I know you're talking about. Yeah.
took a course, and they were like, "Do you have a
You talking
family
about downtown
member?
Detroit, right?
Yeah, do you have
Yeah,
a
yeah.
family member that teaches?" I'm like, "What are you learning?" They're like, "Photography." I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's my uncle."
Mm, okay.
Like, yeah, I got him. I had him for a class, so I was like, "Okay, cool." So he's always been busy with that. He's really good at it, so I'm glad to see him be recognized for that. This is really cool.
Okay.
Other than that, man,
That's it.
just another week. Yeah, how you been?
Yeah, I'm good, man. We had a tournament yesterday. Amy
Oh
Straddle's
yeah, Henry's
tournament.
tournament, right? Yeah.
Yeah, tournament. I took 6 kids. You know the funny thing, Travis is actually here right now producing the show. I see him. He just checked in a few minutes ago. But check this out. I had someone who was talking to me and thought I was Travis
Oh wow.
yesterday. Yeah, and he's talking and he's doing this talking, but actually he was giving Travis props, talking about how he
Okay.
loved how you fight. And I'm trying to let him know like it ain't me. I'm trying to get a word in, but
Did
he's
you
just
know the
talking.
guy?
I never seen this guy a day in my life before,
Oh
ever. I don't know
wow.
from anywhere. As a matter of fact, one of my students had came up to me and asked me a question, and he said, "Mr. Plowden, blah 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 blah," and I said, "Yeah, yeah, go ahead." And I turned around, and he said, "Plowden." I turned around and said, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh," he's like, "I remember you." Yeah, he's like, "I used to love watching you fight in the early 2000s." And he just got to go, and I'm like, "Oh, oh, uh,
How how did
I
you know
said,
it was Travis
what?" I
that he was
mean,
talking about?
because I don't have another
Not
brother.
from your accolades?
I don't have another. And I wasn't fighting in the early 2000s. Like I
Oh
said,
yeah, well there you go.
yeah, I stopped. Like Mike,
That's funny.
Mike said, like I fought in 2000 somewhere. I think he said I fought in Indiana. But other than that, I don't remember ever fighting in the 2000s. And he was just going and talking about me doing all these kicks and stuff. And I'm just looking like, dude, it wasn't me. I'm sorry. So I let him talk. He talked for about, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes. He was just reminiscing about Travis fights. And then said, "Man, that's wonderful. That was my brother. That's not me." He was like, "Oh," I said, "Yeah, it wasn't me." I was like, "I haven't fought in probably since 2000." I was like, "So if you're talking about fights in the early 2000s, that had to be my brother." And then he asked where Travis was, and I said, he's in Atlanta now. He's down there, and he wanted to know if he had a school. And I said, no, not this time. He's not. And I started talking about,
Not this time.
not at this time. You never know what Travis is gonna do in the future. He's always doing something. You know.
Yeah.
So and then I told him, about Rick's school. I said, there's two Plowden schools up here. You have my school and you have my uncle's school, and we talked for a second. And honestly, when this man told me his name, I did not remember it. Instantly. I forgot it instantly. So as he's
Oh
talking,
wow.
I said, oh, "Excuse me, what you say your name was again?" And he told me, and I literally cannot remember it right now. And I'm always been bad with names like that. I cannot keep people's names in my head, especially if I don't, because I'm always thinking like, why do I like? How do I know you? Like, what is the point of this
Yeah.
conversation? Where are we going with this? So I'm constantly thinking as people are talking to me, especially when they say their name, and I don't remember this guy's name. Another gentleman came up to me and started speaking to me also, but he's seen me around at the tournaments, and he just wanted to know who I was. He was an older gentleman. He was an older gentleman. And he told me that his grandson was taking classes, so he will always see me running around from ring to ring, coaching my kids. And you know me, man. I'm an animated person, especially when I'm coaching my kids. So he just wanted
Yeah,
to
for
know who
sure.
I was, and then I asked him what school his grandson trained at, and it was one of Master Butler's students. I said,
Oh,
"Oh yeah,"
fantastic.
I was like, "I've known him. I've known him since before I was even in karate." Like
Yep.
I've known Master Butler shit probably since I was about 4 or 5, or he's probably known my family before I was born. So he's been around for a long time. So yeah, but he was a nice gentleman I spoke to. I don't know, man. Sometimes people just walk up to me and just start speaking to me, and I don't know if it's because they know I'm a Plowden, they think I'm Travis, or I would like for them to say I love his kicks and flicks. That's what I'm waiting
Right.
on. I'm waiting on people to say that. But
Right.
I think what I'm gonna have to start doing, man, I think I'm gonna really start getting some postcards made up, like I do with my school, like postcards like this.
Yeah.
Get them double sided with some stuff, and start taking them to tournaments, and leaving them on the table where where people promote the next tournament or events and stuff like that. You know, so but the kids they did okay, man. Only had 6 kids show up yesterday. The girls won, the boys did not place. I should say the girls placed. I had one student, one girl, she ended up getting first place in fighting. And then I got a girl who got second, and another girl who got third. They're all in different divisions. My young lady who got second is Jenna. You know Jenna. Jenna got a second place in fighting, man, but that was a hard one because she actually, I've never seen her fight this well before. She really stepped her game up because she had a disappointing loss last week when we were at
Yeah.
the Kibelon tournament. So all last week I worked on what she did wrong, and a lot of times Jenna has what a lot of students don't have. She doesn't have fear. So she doesn't worry about that. That's what I should say. She does not worry about it. And a lot of kids have fear. She does not have fear. When the judges say go, she's going at whoever she's fighting, no matter if they're taller than her, bigger than her, whatever, she's going. And I told her, I said, okay, listen, you're not in the novice division now. You're in the intermediate. We got to start thinking a little bit smarter when we're fighting. So all
Hmm.
last week I was just working on her with her angles, and timing. And that's all we did all last week. And she incorporated that into her sparring yesterday, man. And she did fantastic. She literally lost at the last second. She was up,
Oh.
yeah, she was up she was at 4-2 with like 10 to 15 seconds left. Yeah. And instead of just, playing the clock, she kept fighting. She kept going. And one time she tried to blitz, the girl side kicked her. Um, and then the girl blitzed her. As soon as the judge said go, the girl just took off and blitzed her again. So now time expired is 6-6, and they're going to overtime, you know. And she just wasn't focused in overtime, and she just made a silly mistake, and the girl capitalized on it, and she ended up losing. But her dad was so proud and happy because he saw a difference in how she was fighting. He saw
Yeah,
her
that's
being
awesome. That's
patient,
fantastic.
waiting, and everything. So and me and him talked. You know, after the fight, when she went to the restroom, he said that he loved that because he knows that the next time she's not going to want to have this feeling again, and she's going to be smarter when she's in this
Yeah,
position next time. So
100%.
man, yeah, so I was happy for her also. That was she had 3 fights, man, and that was the best I've ever seen her fight. What I told him also last year, I purposely put her in the class. She's a blue belt. I put her in my red and black belt class because I told him that I wanted her to start fighting with the red and black belts because that's going to help elevate her in her sparring. And
Yep.
and I'm seeing that, and that's starting to happen also because my black belt kids, they can really push her, and not hurt her. They have control as they're doing their techniques, and she's getting better, so it was pretty cool. Here he is.
What's up?
Here's Angel. What's up, man?
Hey,
What's up, y'all?
Nothing much, man. So yeah, man. So other than that, man, it was good, man. One of my students, he got kicked in the shoulder. So he really couldn't punch. I don't really remember what kind of kick it was. I actually thought his arm might have been dislocated because his arm was kind of just hanging when he came off to the side to talk to me. I had him raise his arms up a couple of times, and he could do it, so I knew that it wasn't dislocated at that point. But he was crying, and Kevin really doesn't cry. So to
yeah.
see him crying, and he's 9, to see him crying, I figured let's let the medic check him out and talk to him. And they came over and talked to him, and he said that he didn't want to quit. He said he wanted to keep going.
Oh,
I
come
let him
on, man.
continue, but he still wasn't. So he couldn't extend his arm the way he wanted to on his reverse punch. So he was about this close, and they're not calling the point when he's throwing the punch. So that was pretty much it for him, man. And the other two, Nyla, I missed Nyla fight. I didn't even know she was at her ring, so I missed her. Her stepmom came and got me, and when I went over there, she had just lost, so she ended up getting third place. And then literally, I turn around and I look over, just looking at all the rings. I see Ryan competing in another ring, so I ran over there to try and coach him. But at that point in time, it was too late. But once again, Ryan does not do good when it comes to fighting taller kids, especially taller kids who can kick. He has to, because he doesn't really work with a lot of kids at our school that kick all the time that's taller than him. So he has a hard
Yeah,
time judging when he can get in and go. And I told him that on some Friday nights I'm going to start taking him over to my uncle's school just so he can just get beat up fighting with the adults, and it's just going to help him get better. But I told him, I was like, it's definitely not going to be easy, man. But it's going to be
no,
a
it
nice
makes a
little rite
difference
of
though.
passage
It
for you.
makes a
Yeah,
difference
definitely,
for sure.
definitely. Other than that, man, that's pretty much all for the weekend, man. That's pretty much it. What's up with you, Angel?
Nothing, bro. Just traveling, and got done training at Gina, and Sean's school today, and then just came here.
Okay,
So
all right.
yeah, man.
Did you drive to
Eh,
Virginia?
no, bro. We talked about this.
You,
I don't do that shit, bro. Hell no.
okay, all right.
Hell no. You'll never catch me driving like that, bro. Hell no.
But you have done that.
Yeah. Okay. I was also a little younger,
Okay.
with way less
Cause you so
responsibility.
old now.
With way less. Hey, listen, man. Listen, let me tell you something, man. I be I'm in my husband era. I don't when it gets too dark, nah, bro. When it gets too
I
dark,
know
nah,
exactly what
man.
you mean.
Hey, nah, man. I ain't even going there. Don't even ask. Don't even ask. I tell everybody it's don't give me a reason to lie. Let's just be real. Just don't even ask, right?
Mhm.
Even today, man, we got done training. I had to ask my fiance, like, I think I drove 30 minutes. I said, you gotta drive. If you want me to drive the rest of the night, you gotta drive. I can't. Like, because usually after I get done training, I always get something to eat, and it gives me
Yeah.
time to, like, let my body just kind of settle down. I
Mhm.
eat, I kind of relax, like, let my
Mhm.
mind kind of chill. But I didn't do that. Like, we went right from training, we went back to where she's from to go get food, and then went right back to the apartment. So I never got a chance to like get food right after. I had to like wait an hour and a half. And I just couldn't do the drive like that, man. Like my body was trying to like come down from adrenaline, but I'm getting tired and this. So I was like, you gotta drive, man. I was like, it's a little different, man. Before I used to be able to do like 3 hours at a clip, like it's nothing. Not like that now. No. I need some time. So, yeah, no, man. I'm in my husband era. I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm not.
Well, that's all right. I mean, they gonna send you out all the time, man. They gonna send you out to get dinner and breakfast when you don't want to go and when you're tired or whatever. Because I tell Melissa all the time, like on Fridays and Saturdays, don't look at me for if we haven't decided what we eating before 7 o'clock. Like I don't want to hear it because man, around here, man, it's crazy. Like the lines all the way out into the street. Like I'm not waiting in any fast food restaurant.
No, I got you.
They damn sure lock the doors at 7 o'clock. Like you can't go into at least I haven't tried it in a few years, but at one point in time they were closing the doors at 7 o'clock. You couldn't go in McDonald's or Burger King at 7 o'clock in Detroit to get food. You had to go through the drive-through. You know?
And that drive-through is long.
Yeah, I mean you can go to Coney Island, and we've done that. And this is Coney Island by me, man. And I guess this young lady that works in there, she knows my brother, right? No, I don't know. Every time she sees me, I think she thinks I'm him, right? Because she says hi, and we've known this girl for 20-something years. Like she's worked at this restaurant, right? So every time we go there, like she gives me the biggest smile and hey, how you doing? And talking to me. And I asked Trav one time, I was like, you know that girl that worked here? He was like, yeah, you should, we were cool with her, this, that, and other. I was like, okay, that's what she thinks I'm you. Okay, I get it now. Now the reason this is important is because Melissa has gone with me to this restaurant and she's given me the big, hey, how you doing? This, that, and other. And I'm like, shit, like, I don't know you. Like, please don't get me in trouble, right? So I told the story to Melissa. So a couple weeks ago, Melissa was like, hey, you need to go up to that Coney Island and tell that girl you ain't Travis. I was like, what was it?
I know.
Like, I ain't Travis.
Bro,
like,
I know.
I'm not supposed to know.
I know, bro. Buffalo Wild Wings almost got thrown out the window for me, bro. I know. That shit crazy, bro. That shit crazy. There's a waitress at Buffalo Wild Wings. She try to make small talk and it always sees me and always says something. But I swear to God, every time my fiance would come, she'd be like, let's go to Buffalo Wild Wings. I said, I don't feel like going. Why don't you want to go? I said, I just don't feel like eating today. I just don't feel like eating. I was like, I just didn't feel like eating. I was like, but all right, we can go. We go, she won't be there. Or she'll be there, but she won't look at us. I'm just like, what do you want me to say? I don't know what to do. She said, I think you just need to stop coming here. I said, you want me to stop? I was like, oh, this is crazy, man. Crazy, bro.
I got so many points. I got to use them.
Hey, listen, you think I'm joking, but that was actually my response. I said, so what you want me to do with 14,000 points? You want me to just throw them away? I said, I worked hard for it now. I might as well use it. I was like, shit. Come on now.
As we talk about Buffalo Wild Wings. We need to start doing it a little bit often, and hopefully Travel clip this and put this out there so they eventually give us a sponsorship or something. Especially with you, Angel. Especially with you, man. The way you talk about B-Dub.
You saying it, you need to go. When she said that, I'm like, yeah, man, that's a real conversation. Yeah, man, that's Buffalo Wild Wings almost got cut out of my life. I said, oh, this is crazy. And then,
you just have to go to the one 20 minutes away.
Well, that's the other thing. I said, the next one's not for 30 minutes. She goes, that's not my problem. I said, so let me tell you. When she said that, let me tell you something. This was my response. And for all the men out there that are loyal, don't say this, right? And for all the women out there that love to say men ain't shit, oh, but whatever. I don't care, okay? I swear to God, my response to her was, well, shit, I didn't cheat. But at least if I would have cheated, now I can understand if I cheated. It's worse when you don't cheat and then you can't go nowhere. I was like, hey, that's the worst thing, man. Let me tell you, why I don't say that for?
I don't know, man.
Say that, bro?
Because you're young. You haven't learned yet.
That opened up a whole other can of worms. And I said, yeah, nah, man. I was like, you know what? I was like, I'll
insert foot.
I said, I just go during the weekday. I don't even need to go on the weekend no more. You know what happened? I tried going on a weekday. Yeah, she always there. I said, I don't know what more you want. I said, I even switched up my schedule timing that I go.
Why don't you just take your food to go? Or do you have to sit there and eat it?
I go there to watch the games.
Oh.
Like I go because I don't got cable in my house, so I go there to watch the games.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, I could, ESPN Plus may not have everything that I want to watch or whatever, because if you want to watch the Yankees, you gotta get the Yankees network streaming app. I'm not about to pay for all these damn apps. Like, hell
Yeah.
So I go there just to go watch the game. That's seriously why I go, especially for the UFC fights. That's the only reason why I go.
Yeah, I haven't done that for the UFC fights in a long time.
Yeah, like and my fiance.
You gotta get there early. It fills up quick.
Yeah. And my fiance knows. She's seen me she's seen me walk in. I literally walk in, sit there, eat. There'll be other people watching the same game. You know, you start talking to other people you don't know. We start talking about the game, sports, all that, and then I get up and bounce. I don't even say that. Like I don't mingle with other people like that. I'm really not that type of dude. I like to just really.
Now, do you sit at the bar when you do that?
Yeah, I do. Which is
crazy. I mean, you sit in the wrong spot for somebody that don't want to mingle.
Hold on. No, but you guys are gonna say, but this is my thought process. Because if I ever tell someone, I'm gonna go to the bar and go get some food, everyone always looks at me like, you don't drink. I'm like, no, I don't. But the bars where you either get the wings are like half off, or it's the quickest seating, so I get to just get sat quick. It's just me.
But I understand that. But in the bar area at Buffalo Wild Wings, they got the tabletop. Yeah. Seats and everything where, it's not at a normal table. It's like a high table.
Yeah, I know what it is. Yeah, I know the layout. I know the layout. I got you.
So, I mean, I don't understand, like, how you just can't sit there if you don't want to be, like, 9 times out of 10, you're probably not going to have a conversation with a random person if you sit at one of those tables.
I do. No, I do. Wait, hold up, babe.
No, you ain't got to get confirmation, man.
Babe. Right? Like, people be sitting there just talking to me randomly?
Yeah, somehow you find a conversation everywhere.
Yeah, a Knicks game will be on. She saw me one time. Knicks game was on. We started high-fiving, hugging each other because the Knicks made a game-winning shot. We don't even know each other. We got there. She said, you know it? I said, I ain't know that, man. I was like, but Knicks bring us.
That's sports, though. That's what sports do, man.
That
just happens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It sounds
nah,
crazy,
I'm not hugging no
We
stranger.
live in a
I'm gonna give somebody a high five, but I'm not hugging nobody.
You say that. Listen, you say that.
Well.
You say that.
I've never hugged another man that I don't know.
Let Michigan be in the national championship. Everybody going crazy. You're not gonna hug someone and be like, yeah.
Hell no. I'm gonna give him a high five, maybe. I give him a pound, get a fist bump. I'm not hugging a stranger. I'm very antisocial, Angel. I'm very antisocial.
I am too, but when it's the game, Joe, you know what I'm saying. When it's the sports, man.
I'm social. I'm a very social person.
Joe's different. Joe is different. I'm gonna tell you this, man. Me and Melissa last year. We went to one of those wedding conferences. What do they call them?
No, don't bring up no wedding stuff. Don't bring up.
Listen. We went to one of these things, right? We go to this thing.
She's in the room. Don't bring up.
Man, that has nothing to do with it. This is about Joe. This is about Joe. So we go there, right? And we're sitting there, and they about to start these damn games, right? So we're sitting there, and they asked for somebody to come up on stage. They said, we want some volunteers. I want to get some free shit. So I'm about to stand up. Like in my head, like I'm getting ready to stand up. And Melissa just leans over to me and whispers, don't go on that stage. And I was like, why not? And by the time I said, why not? I looked and they had 4 guys up there. They had to dance. And I'm so glad. Now, this one guy, he reminded me of Joe so much. He was having a good time. It did not matter that this man could not dance. He didn't give a damn. He was up there having a good time, shaking up, jumping around, doing all types of stuff. I was like, this is like I'm looking at Joe up here on the stage right now.
Joe probably was hyping him up on the side. You got it, man. You got it.
But that guy was cool. I talked to him. We were leaving the place at the same time. I said something to him, but anyway, I didn't give him a hug. I gave him a high five. Good job.
All right, bro. Listen, man. Sports brings you together. I was about to say, don't bring up no weddings.
Embracing. I mean, even this one, when you do this, you
don't do that,
huh?
You wouldn't do
I'll do it. Yeah, maybe if I know someone, I might do that. But I'm just talking about like embracing a hug. I'm not hugging no other man I don't know. If you're my family, maybe, but I'm not just going.
Joe, you know.
Listen, I hug everybody. I don't care.
I'm not an embracer. I'm sorry. I'm just not an embracer.
Listen, we were at Disney World and I hugged Chewbacca. So and I freaked him out. He was like, "What just happened?" I was happy. So.
Wait a minute, did Chewbacca say that, or was he like?
He wouldn't say nothing because we were saying goodbye and we had the kids and everything. And my best friend is Chewy, so I was just like Chewy, and I picked him up and everything. He was like, "What the hell?"
See,
We
you're
got a
taking it
picture
too
of it
far.
somewhere.
You're taking it
I
too
got a
far.
picture of
See,
it.
now, Angel, I'm gonna tell you this now. Now, Joe just solidified it for me. I'm never hugging another stranger. Like if I hug a stranger and he picks me up, hell no, I might catch a lawsuit at that
You
point in
gotta
time.
fight him. You gotta fight him after that. You gotta fight him. If there's a picture of that, imagine if there's a video of that of a man hugging you, you get picked up. You gotta fight
I
after
have to
that.
slap him.
You
I
gotta
have
fight
to
after
slap him.
that.
I'm sorry, I
You
gotta slap you
have
now.
to
You
fight.
can't pick me up.
You have to
cannot.
fight. 'Cause now there can't be evidence that this happened and I allowed it. There can't be no evidence of that. That's crazy, man. Joe, never mind, man. I'm a little different than you. A dap, a hug, let's go. That's
Yeah, definitely. It's all good.
All right, let's talk about
Depends on the
Creed.
moment.
Angel, are you a Knicks fan?
yeah. I'm a
Okay.
huge
All right.
Knicks fan.
Well, it's gonna be
I know
war.
why he's
So,
saying that.
yeah, it's gonna be a war for a little bit.
Why?
Because
Oh,
we're
wait.
playing you in the first
Wait,
round.
they're the first.
Yeah.
Wait, during the first round?
Yeah,
We're playing Detroit in the first round?
yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, get Beef Stew. We're gonna take his ass out of there. We're gonna get him so mad. We're gonna get Beef Stew so mad. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, man. Beef Stew might be the new Rick Mahorn or Bill Laimbeer. I'm not gonna lie to you. He might be your new Rick Mahorn or Bill Laimbeer. That's over with. Yeah. Oh. Oh.
You
Yeah,
know y'all
so-
getting swept, right?
Who?
Y'all.
Hell no,
Knicks.
we ain't getting what, boy?
You might win one. Probably not, though.
That's you guys. You got gentlemen sweep you. You know that. You know your gentlemen sweep y'all. Come on now.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's going to be good. But I heard them saying earlier that Detroit was not a good matchup for New York in the first round. They said this weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. Y'all gonna take us 7 games, but y'all probably take us 7 games. I can see you guys taking us 7 games, 6, 7.
Isn't the first round 5 games?
Not
Oh,
anymore. They changed that years
that was
ago.
in
Oh,
the
they
days,
changed
yep.
it. Okay,
Yeah, damn.
it was
that's
a
how
long
long it's
time
been
ago.
since I
Basketball,
watched.
bro, the 90s?
I've watched. I haven't watched it. Listen, the Pistons haven't been watchable the last 10 years.
10, you mean 15?
I've tried
18.
at least. Listen, man,
I haven't heard
I
of
tried. I've been
5 games
trying, so I'm
since the
happy.
90s.
I'm happy now. We can watch them.
No, but yeah, I mean, listen, Cade is gonna, Cade's gonna do him. It's what you got around you. That's the thing. And Cat been in these moments. Cat has been in these moments. Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges. The only thing I'm worried about with the Knicks is I'm worried about Tom Thibodeau may have run these guys down way too much, and when the playoffs come, they're gonna break down. That's what I'm worried about. I'll be honest.
That's your excuse. That's what you already setting excuses up.
I said
That's
I'm
what it
worried.
sounds like to me.
Okay, there we go. Chad, don't do this. Why you do this, Chad? Now I'm getting mad now. Like I want you to get don't do this to me.
This is why Travis is here. This is what he does.
Don't do it. I'm now getting mad. Now I
The
feel
mastermind.
like this is
The
crazy.
mastermind.
Man, Cat is gonna destroy y'all, bro. Cat is
All
gonna
right, we'll
destroy
see. We'll see. Let's talk about Creed 3. Well, first before we get into the movie, these movies, Creed 1, 2, and 3, they have the same tone to me throughout the whole series. All 3 movies, like they, like with Rocky 1 and 2 have the same tone. Rocky 3 does not feel like Rocky 1 or 2, and definitely 4 and 5 definitely don't feel like 1 and 2. They kind of got back to that same type of updated feeling for Rocky Balboa, number 6. But with these Creed movies, 1, 2, and 3 all feel the same to me. What do you guys think?
No, I agree. What did you think though? Without Rocky, how this?
I don't think Rocky was needed because this had nothing to do with Rocky.
Yeah, but would it have been better? Because I'm thinking like not maybe not the fighting.
No, I don't think.
But what about like meeting his? That was his goddaughter.
Yeah, no, that. But that. I mean, I don't think Rocky was needed. It just seems like that would have been. I think it would have felt out of place unless Rocky has to have a point to being in the movie. Like he has to be there for a reason. Now we've heard him give Adonis plenty of speeches in 1 and 2. Like Adonis was grown. He wasn't the same kid anymore in this movie. Like he's at the point now where he retired. We get 3 different we get 3 different time periods for him. We see him as a little kid in this movie, then we get him in his last fights, and then we get him 3 years later after his And at that point, like he's he has a lot of injuries. He got a lot of battle scars now. At that point in time,
Yep.
he's retired. He's not competing anymore. I don't see where Rocky would have fit in any of the. Maybe if we would have had him in the beginning at the last for his last fight, Rocky
Mhm.
would have been there. If we would have put Rocky in there, I don't think Rocky would have been needed anywhere else.
Could you imagine if they went this whole movie no Rocky, and then right towards that last training session, Rocky just comes out of the shadow?
I actually think that would make
That would have been funny. That
actually
would have been funny.
I think if we were to go and watch that live, I think the theater will pop if that was to happen. I think that's
Oh,
Probably
100%.
so. Probably
yeah,
so. Yeah.
I think it will pop. So I think it actually will be in the benefit. Maybe.
I just think that would have been funny.
I agree with you though, Gene. It is the tone of the story was very much the same. Very much a very traditional, almost like a playwright, a very traditional playwright. There's a problem, there's an uphill battle, we reach the climax, and then there's the decline. Like it's very much like that type of like traditional type of playwright. Which I think he did good. One thing I will say, I remember Trav said this when the movie came out, and watching it again, I agree with him when he said it. The cinematography in this movie was probably next level, probably like one of the best ones in terms of like how the points of views and the way that they shot the fight scenes was very, very good on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really good. I actually really liked it. Some weird stuff a little bit, but really good though. And all in all, I think
You talking about the fight scene? Weird stuff?
Yeah, just the last one. I think the last one when they were.
You talking about when it got quiet and it was empty?
Not even that. That made sense because that's him
Yeah.
in the zone. That's him in the zone. That's like, when we were all.
Well, I took that as both of them. Like it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, the crowd, it was just
Yeah.
about them beating the hell out of each other.
I took that.
Yeah, they had blinders on.
I took that as like, we all fought. Like that's like that flow state when like nothing else matters now. It's just it really is just me and you, mano y mano, that type of thing. I think just some of the I don't know, like just some of like the I don't know how to say it. The effects. Some of the effects were just a little. It wasn't bad. It was just something different. I haven't seen it in a fighting movie like that before. But
So
it was good.
I heard rumors of Creed 4. Do you guys want to see a Creed 4?
After our last talk, I'm honestly I don't think so. After our last talk, I don't want to. I think I know where they would go with it for Creed 4, and I think it will be very good.
Yeah, and
different, but I don't want them to though.
Yeah, I know what you're alluding to, Angel. Yeah, I knew that's what you were alluding to.
Yeah.
But I didn't mean that. I mean like if they were trying to do Adonis against one more person, another person, like maybe
want to see that. I think
maybe like Rocky was in Rocky Balboa, like one more.
That's what it would be. That's what it would be.
I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want that.
I wouldn't want it. I think the way that they actually tied him up with this last one, I think was perfect for him to end his stint as a fighter. I think it's done. I think now we get to see him now in that. I think if they do it again, we're gonna see him in that father role, now being father coach. I think that's what we would see. I can see them bringing Rocky back for that though. I can see them bringing him back, saying Adonis saying, you got all the tools, but you got to go to one more place to get that toughness, to get that heart, and that's what Rocky was known for, his heart.
That would be kind of interesting. This is gonna sound mean. Fuck it. I don't know if I want to read a movie though for 2 hours.
Nah, bro. Nah.
I mean, she's deaf. Not only is she deaf, she's not even speaking. So it's not like her mom. She's not like her mom. I don't know if I want to read, the whole movie.
But can't she get hearing aids?
It didn't seem like it. I mean,
not if she's deaf. I mean,
yeah. I mean, because it looked like
if it's partial hearing loss, maybe.
Yeah, because I don't think she had partial hearing loss. She didn't hear anything.
I'm sorry. I don't know. Babe, if you're deaf, could they make you hear? I could have swore I seen videos on that.
It depends. It depends.
I think the technology is getting up there or close to.
I think it kind of depends on what percentage you can hear. Like, but I don't think she could hear. Remember when she was a baby? Yeah. And they had the headphones on. She wasn't reacting to anything. She couldn't hear.
Like she couldn't do nothing.
Right.
I think she was
But
too
in
young.
this movie, she's not even speaking. She's not talking at all.
But she's young. I'm saying I think she's young. I think she can't get
At 6, she should have been talking at 6. You know,
my sources said a cochlear implant could be put in, and then she can end up hearing, which means she could then end up responding. But maybe she could have been too young at 6.
yeah, but yeah, man, I really once again y'all about to make me sound bad, but because now think about what this would sound like.
I can't, bro.
Someone who never heard before. We've all heard people talk who can't hear, right?
No, stop.
So
no, it's gonna be with the hearing aid.
I'm not going to imitate what it's going to sound like, but you know what this is going to sound like.
Eventually it'll get better because she can hear now with the cochlear hearing aid.
Yeah, but I mean, so I don't know, man. I've heard people who are deaf try and talk, and like that it makes me feel uncomfortable. You know, I've seen it on TV. I'm talking about TV wise. It made me feel uncomfortable. I don't want to be sitting in the movies feeling uncomfortable. I don't know if that is the right thing to do for a movie. In real life, it's different. You can have this in real life because I'm not about to watch you for 2 hours. I'm not about to see you come up for 2 hours. But you got to try and make me, because think about it, it's just not going to be her training and fighting. There's going to have to be her dating. Other things are going to happen. And
what you thought? You think just because you're deaf you can't date?
No, but I'm talking about me as the viewer. Like that has to be enjoyable for me to watch and enjoy this movie and not be taken out of it. I don't know. I just don't know how it's going to sound, how it would be. I don't know. I think I would prefer if he's training someone totally new, like how what Johnny did with Miguel. Like this is somebody that's totally different. This is a new character that we created.
But then people are gonna, it's not gonna be successful right off the bat because they're gonna compare it to Rocky 5.
Maybe, but you don't do that. You just don't do that. You don't make Michael B. Jordan come out of retirement to fight him. Make him be Johnny and help this kid who was probably getting bullied, find out about himself and growing to manhood or whatever.
What made that successful for that is that we've had 6 seasons to do that. We're talking
they did it in the first season. Johnny took Miguel in the first season and he won All Valley Champ.
Episodes for that. I'm saying like it ain't gonna. I don't think it'll be able to get done like that in a movie, and it'd be.
You did it with Rocky, the first Rocky. Rocky was nobody in the first movie. And Adonis in the first Creed, he was nobody. He had 15 fights in Mexico. Nobody ever heard of him. And then he had one fight, and next thing you know, he gets a title shot. So it could be done, but I'm just saying, like you could do it from I'm not talking about a teenager. I don't mean like 14, 15. I mean like somebody that's a little bit older. 18, 19, 20, 21, somewhere around that age. Someone just getting out of the Golden Gloves or whatever. And have him, and you don't necessarily have to win a championship or even fight for the championship. You could have like Rocky and Creed movies. It's all about overcoming obstacles and taking your life to another level. You can do that with a younger character, another character. I don't know if I want to do that with the daughter though.
Hey, you know what's a big obstacle?
Yeah.
Being deaf.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but come on now. So we're gonna be in the corner coaching her, throwing up signs so she can. They can't scream to her. They can't talk to her. How is it going to tell her what to do?
I know.
That will make an uncomfortable movie, man. I don't know, man. I'm not feeling it.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, if they were to do it, she gonna get those cochlear implants. Mm-hmm. She's gonna end up being able. Obviously,
they can afford them.
It's a movie. Like how many movies have we seen that it's based on a true story, but they have so many fictitious parts to the movie. We don't complain. We just go, okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, because we know it's based on a true story. But now you're talking about you're adding this new character like this into Rocky and Creed, the Rocky verse. I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to go down that road.
Right.
I don't know.
We put way too much time into Creed 4. It's not even happening. We got to get to Creed 3.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead, Joe.
We ran off on this one. Go ahead.
We're very passionate. So this one starts off with Adonis as a young boy, sneaks out of his house, He's gonna go watch his friend from the group home, who's a Golden Gloves fighter. But now I'm gonna tell you, when they first pulled up to this place, it did not look like it was Golden. This looked like underground boxing.
It did, yeah, it did.
So when they call him a Golden Gloves champion, I'm like,
well, I saw the banner.
okay.
I saw the banner when they showed him boxing in the ring. I saw the banner up.
Yeah, it was just it was a little interesting to me. I never really thought about that. But you know, it's they call him Diamond Dame, Damien. I guess I'm assuming that's his name, Diamond Damien. So you know, he knocks the dude out in like the second round, gets the championship, and they go out to get something to eat. In the car, Adonis gives him a present, and it's a ticket. I'm assuming I don't think his mom gave this to him, but maybe he took it from his dad's shrine. It's a ticket from Rumble in the Jungle, and it's it's encased. It's like it's a memento. So he gives him that as a show of friendship and all that stuff. And
Mama would have been pissed if she would have known he did that. She probably would have hit him with a left hook her damn self after that.
For sure. And then we go into a situation where they're getting something to eat, and Adonis runs into someone obviously that he don't like, and he starts beating the crap out of the guy. And then we leave that scenario from his childhood, and we go into his current fight where he's fighting Pretty Ricky, which I thought was interesting to bring his last fight around to the beginning, which was his first fight, and I guess his only loss.
Yeah, because what they say was 26-1.
Yeah,
I think that's what they said. Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. Pretty good fight, but
when I heard that, go ahead.
Just really quick. I know we talked about this in the first Creed. Would you have wished that they would have explained how he got how many years has passed for him to be out of jail and then to fight again, Pretty Ricky, or not?
If he had a 6-year-old.
But I'm just saying, like, does it not care to you guys, or you're like, whatever? He wasn't important to the storyline.
Nah, he really at this point in time, it really didn't matter. It really wasn't important.
All right.
Nah. But I did wonder if when they said his record, if they still counted those Mexico fights.
Yeah, I was wondering that too.
Okay, so if that's the case, Adonis really hasn't had a lot of fights then.
No, he hasn't.
I mean, even at this point of the series, he
hadn't had a lot of fights. 11 extra
10.
fights.
Yeah, that's not much.
Yeah,
11 fights in 6 years. Is that a lot, or does that seem right?
Oh yeah, that does actually.
Well, actually, it's more than 6 years, because it's 6 years because the baby was born in the second movie. The baby wasn't born in the first movie, right? They just got together. Yep. So the first movie is even further.
So that's not.
That's not a lot of fights.
So it could be 8 to 10 years.
Yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
Interesting. Yeah, you're right. That's an interesting timeline. During the fight, he kind of notices something in the first couple of rounds, and so he's kind of noticed an open spot, and he goes to his corner and he tells him checkmate. Now, the reason that's significant is because in the fight with Diamond Dame at the beginning, Diamond Dame did the same thing. He noticed something. He said checkmate, and so I guess that was kind of their thing, or it was just kind of bringing it back to where that. Because he never said that in any of the other movies, so
no.
Thought that was interesting.
If he did, I don't remember it.
He never did.
He hits homeboy with a pretty big punch to the liver, and that was it. End of fight. And that's he ends his career on top and starts training people at the gym, with his other. Who's the other trainer? I forget his name
Duke.
all the time.
Duke's son.
Duke. Yeah, Duke. So they're working together now. He's kind of promoting fights, helping in the gym a lot, and
I've been meaning to go back.
His family.
I've been meaning to run back to Rocky real quick to see if the name of Apollo's gym was at Delphi, because I don't really remember them ever showing it. But they showed Delphi. They showed Delphi gym a lot in all three of these movies, and they made it seem like it was significant, like we should remember, like this is Delphi. But I don't remember them ever showing Apollo's gym.
I think it was. I think it was shown in 3 when he got there.
Oh, okay.
I think it was shown quickly though, not like because it wasn't all over the walls or nothing.
Right.
Quick. It was either quick or Apollo said it. One of the two.
Okay.
One of
Go
those
ahead,
two.
Joe.
Yeah.
So during the retired life, he's playing with his daughter. His wife is stopped performing. She's producing music for bigger artists, trying to preserve her hearing as much as she can. And like I said, Adonis is running the gym. He has a up and coming championship fighter, Felix, that he's
Mm-hmm.
working with, and he's setting up a fight with Felix and Drago. Thought it
Mm-hmm.
was interesting that they kept Drago, they kept Pretty Ricky, trying to keep some of these people relevant. Now, the only thing that I thought was interesting was we had young Drago, but we didn't get the dad this time around.
Yep, I was gonna say the same thing. Yep, and then actually, I also thought that his wife Bianca, I actually thought she lost her hearing in the second movie, so I was kind of surprised that she could still hear in the third movie.
Well, if then that can happen, and then anything's possible for the fourth.
She
You really
said
want to see this movie, don't you? You really
I
want to
he
see?
does.
I think it'll be good because I think it'll be one of the first movies that they showcase female boxing the way it should be.
I'm all for that. I just don't want it for this character unless they have a way. Maybe she has some emergency surgery. Now all of a sudden she can hear that. Then okay, fine, and we can have
He
some.
said that.
And we have some interesting dialogue and stuff. But
Ah,
I don't want to be sitting
that
in the theater uncomfortable. Go ahead, Joe.
um uh now you made me lose my train of thought.
Oh, man.
Um so she explains that why she stopped singing.
Mm-hmm.
She said she was having hearing trouble on stage, and so she wanted to preserve what she had left of her hearing. So that's why she's producing now. But she must be doing well because she's got some big artists, a few gold records and stuff like that. So the other thing we get to see in this next scene is somebody we don't know quite yet coming off the bus, shows up at the gym, just kind of
Mm-hmm.
chilling, leaning against Adonis's car while he's setting up this fight. And at first he looks over, he don't even recognize his boy, but his Dame out of prison.
Mm-hmm.
What did he do? 18 years?
Yeah, but it seemed like he did more than that. I think
Bro,
they
I thought
said
he did
that.
30.
Yeah, it seemed like he was in. Maybe he was in and out. I don't know, but you're right, man. You mean
Well,
because
he said he got a few extra years tacked on, so he probably
yeah, he
got
did
in
say
some
that.
trouble inside.
Yeah.
So, of course, when Adonis first recognizes him, you could tell by the look on his face he has mixed feelings about this. Because although we know what happened, we don't know everything that happened at this point in the movie. But every time he's kind of talking to and looks at Dame, he kind of has this look of guilt on his face almost, or like some kind of remorse. And you just wonder until they explain it, like what happened.
I took that as guilt, but also like he might be a little leery because he don't know if this dude is pissed off at him because like everything is his fault. Now Dame
Well,
probably would have gotten in some other trouble, later on maybe if that hadn't happened. But you know, Adonis was the one that wanted to pull over at the store. Adonis one started the fight, and he was the
yeah.
one that ran away. So,
Um, yeah, but Dame played it cool for the first,
mm-hmm.
but before he got to the point of what he wanted, he played it pretty cool for a while. So,
Yeah,
like, everything was cool, everything was okay. But, as we get further down the movie, you learn exactly where his head space is at. And yeah, it does slowly start to affect Adonis. So they have this nice lunch with each other. He goes home. Dame, he starts thinking again back to the fight. And when Dame came in, he came in with a gun. And they don't really explain it until later in the movie. They just keep showing a couple of flashbacks. He
mm-hmm.
goes home, talks to his mom and his wife, and the conversation, he just says, "Oh, I was just taking care of something." He don't talk about running into his friend.
No.
You know what
Well,
I'm
I mean,
saying? So
of course he didn't want to do that because he knew his mom didn't like her. I mean, like him.
yeah,
So he didn't want to start any drama or any problems or anything like that. So
Now we
Oh. You just get hit with a left hook, Angel. What?
Got hit with a pillow.
got a left pillow.
She said, "Don't make me hit you." I said, "Go ahead, hit me. This camera's right here. Go ahead, hit me. I dare you to. I dare you to hit me."
Anyway.
Oh, you're funny. You're funny. The mom had a stroke, so they're trying to convince her to come live with them. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, as parents are, man, good luck.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can say. I've watched this kind of thing with some of my in-laws' parents, and it's not a fun thing to go through.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially when people are used to, taking care of themselves. They don't want to be told after 70, 80 years all of a sudden that they need to come and leave their house and be taken care of. So they
Yeah,
kind of brushed over the subject and hope maybe she'll think about it down the road.
I've talked about that with Melissa, man. So it's gonna be interesting when I get older. It's gonna be really, really interesting.
Wait, wait for you?
Yeah, man. I honestly, I'm trying not to take up too much time because I see what time it is, so I
Yeah.
really didn't want to go off into the. But I told her, I was like, I don't care if I got to go to a nursing home, I don't care. She was like,
I
what?
don't either.
I was like,
I
listen.
worked at one. I'll
I
be
was like,
fine.
if I have a stroke, I'm right there. They got me. They can come take care of me. Like, you think I'm trying to wait? I'm trying to tumble down the damn steps or wait for the ambulance to get here. Ain't no telling what could happen while I'm waiting for the ambulance to show up. And then that ambulance bill was $700 for my grandmother. Lord knows how much the ambulance ride is gonna be by the time it's time for me to get home.
Yeah.
Double.
No. So go ahead, Joe.
Adonis brings Dame into the gym, lets him work out. He basically becomes a sparring partner for Felix, which I'm surprised that Dame accepted that, but you kind of knew in your head like he wasn't going to stay there for long. He laid out to Donnie he wants to be the champ. He wants to try. Now, that conversation didn't go very well because Donnie's like, that's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's impossible. That's not going to happen. It's pretty impossible. Dame shows up to the house. He meets the family. Like I said, at this point, he's still playing nice.
Mm-hmm.
But during the conversation with Adonis, when he lays out what he wants and Adonis tells him it's impossible, he does get a little like, nothing's impossible. It worked out for you. It worked out for Rocky. Make it happen.
Dame has been planning this for a long time, man. He had this set up for a long time. Like somebody once said, man, he's playing chess, not hopscotch, right? So he already
Yep.
had this shit laid out. He
He did,
knew
and you could tell.
what he wanted. Yeah, from the get-go.
But like I said, he was still at this point playing nice. But the next day in the gym is when he starts showing his true colors.
Mm-hmm.
Because like he doesn't want to be this punching bag for Felix anymore. And he goes after Felix. And the mom and Duke is like, I told you this was gonna happen. This dude's got a chip on his shoulder. I don't need him in my gym. Like
Mm-hmm.
Duke is right.
Mm-hmm.
You don't owe this dude nothing.
Right.
But like I said, Adonis, he feels like he does owe him something. But the championships, like, if you can bring him up as a contender, that's a little different. But to give this dude just a championship fight
Yeah,
out of nowhere,
but like Dame, Dame had a good point. He was like, you did it. He said that to
yeah.
Adonis, you did it, and Rocky did it also. So I guess he's thinking like, why not me? Even though he hasn't fought anyone in years.
Well, the biggest problem is, the champion has already got a fight set up.
Mm-hmm.
So even after that fight, no matter what happens, you're not going to get a championship fight for another 6 months.
Yeah, Dame was looking at his own, mortality. He knew that he was an older fighter. He knew that there were only so many fights that he couldn't wait, to have 20 fights before he had before he was a contender, and that's probably what it would have took in real life, realistically. And he wasn't going to make that. I'm thinking like Dame had to have been in his late 30s. I'm thinking like 38, 39. if he got arrested at 18, let's say he's 17 or 18, and he gets out when he's almost 35, and well, if he did, he said he had 18 years plus a couple more tacked on. You're looking at somebody that's around, 37, 38 years old, and he was older than Donnie. He knew that he only got, so much time left. So
Yeah. So Donnie's wife Bianca, are they married now?
yeah,
Okay.
they never showed. They got married in the second movie, but they never really
they
showed
never
it.
really showed it.
Yeah.
Invites Dame to her album party. Now the album party is for her, but it's also Adonis is using it to still promote the fight. Everyone's there, so Dame takes an opportunity to kind of get into Bianca's head a little bit. He starts asking her about how does it feel to have somebody else singing your songs, and then she starts kind of looking into Donnie's past a little bit because he don't talk about it, and he just mentions Leon. And Leon's a guy that kind of started this whole situation, but he doesn't give all the information. He tells her to talk to Adonis about it, and then Drago gets Nancy Kerrigan.
Right.
So he gets whacked on the hand. Obviously, he's not going to be able to fight, messing up things for Adonis and for Felix. Because this is their big payday. They've been setting this up for a while, so it really puts Adonis in a hard spot. Now, I'm going to say this: we knew where this was going, but there had to be better options than this. Come on.
You mean to take Drago out like that? Is that what you mean?
No, when Drago was taken out.
Oh, you mean another fighter?
When they're trying to figure out what else they could do,
there's always
Dame wasn't the only answer. Is all I'm saying.
No, you're right.
Options. The only issue is that it had to involve them. Like it had to involve them. If it didn't involve him, like what would have been better, right? Let's say in between. You know what actually would have been better? If they would have put Stuntman as one of the replacements.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Hold on.
Because there needs to be other people that we've seen Adonis fight that could have been used as an option. That's the problem.
Well, I'm just saying, Dame put a lot of weight on the fact that he would be picked.
Yeah,
this could have bounced a whole different way. You took out the number one contender on the hope that you'll get introduced to fight. And in reality, that shouldn't have happened. But that's all I'm saying. Yeah.
But also, man, you got to look at this also. I don't know about boxing. I know about MMA. This seemed like this was maybe a week or two before the event was supposed to take place.
Yes.
Right? I don't know if boxers are they ready to just have a fight without a camp that in that short of notice. I know MMA fighters do it.
Yeah, they could.
Probably not.
Yeah.
You think so? I don't know, man. Like that's kind of risky. Like,
are you asking me?
Well, he was staying in shape though. He said he was staying in shape, but doesn't mean he's in boxing shape. And he was rusty in the ring.
I'm not talking about Dame. I'm talking about because you guys are saying that there should have been another fighter, either the number 2 or number 3 or number 4. If they get that call, hey, you're gonna.
Oh yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Like I don't know if I'm gonna take that fight in 2 weeks, but they had to have that fight in 2 weeks.
Are you asking like, is it allowed or and has it been done before, or like?
I'm saying how likely is it for a competitor in boxing to jump in and take a fight within 2 weeks or 1 week? Or we don't even know. We just know it's a short amount of time. It's not enough for a camp.
It's rare, but I will say this: in the top 5, I don't think no one would take that. Anywhere between 5 to 15, I think someone would say yes, because there's no guarantee that they're gonna get a title shot. They're hoping they're gonna get one.
Now,
so those guys are more likely to stay in the gym and actually train than the guys that are in the top 5 that they'll do camps, 8-week camps, but they're taking 7, 8, 9, 12 weeks off. Does that make sense?
Okay, so to me, this is the same thing that happened to Rocky and Apollo in the first movie, because Apollo could have did the same thing. Rocky wasn't a contender at all, and whatever happened, I don't even remember what happened with Apollo's opponent. but they couldn't get someone that could step in right quick, and it had to be Rocky. So I took this as that same type of situation as to why Dame got the title fight.
But,
All right, well, that's a
but
good point. You say that there.
Duke
That's
called
right.
it. Duke didn't want this to happen,
Right.
Point.
but
But it did.
they spun it really well, and honestly, it was a win-win at the time for Donnie because one, he still gets to put on a fight, and two, he still gets to kind of keep this promise, this regret that he has towards Dame. So
Mhm.
he's kind of honoring both situations all at once. The problem is it does backfire and blow up in his face, even though it shouldn't have. But
Mhm.
because although Dame was a little rusty, he definitely was still in shape, and he was doing a little dirty boxing.
Yeah.
He's
And it
taking
made
some
me
cheap shots. He's taking some kidney punches. He's taking some, he's punching them under the armpit. Like,
mhm. It made me wonder how, like, I don't watch boxing like that anymore. So how often do people, fight like this?
They don't.
Cheap
most
shots.
don't.
You don't. You
Most
don't.
don't.
They're really quick with warnings now, and like minus ones, and then point deductions, and then eventually being disqualified. They're really
And the
bad.
reason I asked that is because I remember when Tyson bit Holyfield's ear when that thing happened. And then they talked about I remember seeing or maybe on Sports Center all the different times where people had gotten bitten in boxing. So it wasn't as rare as I thought it was, and maybe it's because of how Tyson did it.
Well, Tyson
So
just went right. He got frustrated and just bit
yeah,
my man's ear right off.
yeah.
So,
All right, man, keep going.
so like I said, this fight, Felix is the better fighter at this point. But Dame hangs in there, uses a few of his dirty tricks. He does get a 2-point deduction for the elbow, and he gets knocked pretty good in the face, spits out a few teeth, and then
You could tell Felix was
he
wobbly also though.
he
He
takes
wasn't
over the
looking the
fight.
same. Yeah.
Yeah, he really takes over the fight, and he brutally knocks Felix out, like
Yeah.
really really bad, and that's where one, it did not look good for Adonis all around. You got this dirty fighter just took out his top fighter, and hurt him really bad.
Hmm.
But
But
now,
but my thing was I was watching this like this is boxing though. This is what you're supposed to knock out your opponent. So
yeah, but that was nasty, man.
yeah. I mean, like I don't
And the way he did it was pretty bad.
yeah.
But they gave him the championship, so he's the champ now. And he looked right at Adonis like, "Yeah, man, I did it." And Adonis
Mhm.
was not happy.
Yeah.
He was worried about his other fighter, and he was kind of worried about the perception that would come with this kind of champion.
Hmm.
Yeah, but he should have
But
known that was gonna happen though.
of course he should have. He knew what he was getting into. This dude been through some stuff, man. Like I said, he should have listened to Duke.
Mhm.
Duke could have figured this out for him, but that's how we got to do this. Um, so now he's kind of got to figure some stuff out, and it is requiring him to take a look at his past because he talks to his mom, and his mom shows the letters that Dame was writing. And in the letters, he started off real nice and then he got real mad because he probably thought Donnie was just ignoring him, but it
Yeah,
was
he
his
did.
mom. He sent back the ticket, from the Rumble in the Jungle. And then there was a picture of him and all his cellmates. And the mom pointed out the dude that came in Nancy Kerrigan Drago was a cellmate
Hmm.
of Dame's.
And this is
So
the point of the movie where I'm thinking like, okay, Drago should have been on a mission to get Dame, to find Dame.
100%. 100%. But do you think they even told? Did you think Drago even knew
No, but
that it
that
was
was
Dame?
no, I don't think so. But then if Drago ever does find out that Dame had that set up, and then if he found out that Donnie knew, that's now a problem between Drago and Donnie. And they seem to be working together. They seem that like they had made up since the
Yeah.
last fight, you know. So
Oh yeah, true.
yeah,
So he goes. Dame's having a party outside, celebrating his win, and
celebration.
Donnie shows up. He thinks Donnie's there to celebrate with him. When Donnie confronts him about setting up Drago and all that, of course Dame shows his true colors. At this point, he's like, "You used to be my glove boy. You used to be this. Now you ain't nothing." And he sucker punches my man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I don't know what was going on. The old Donnie, you ain't gonna sucker punch him without getting some hands thrown in. I will punch you in the throat. You sucker punch me like that. I
Well,
don't care who you are.
yeah, but
That
I
was
don't think he had
messed
a.
up.
I don't. Yeah, you're right, but I don't think he was just worried about Dame.
Yeah, I
Like,
know he had all his boys with him, but so
not
what?
just have his boys. His boys had heat. They had guns. You
Yeah, I'm
know,
about to say they weren't just there chilling on the beach.
Donnie got to think like he's a husband now. He's a father. You know, he's taking care of
I
his
know, man,
mom.
but
You know,
to get sucker punched by someone who's supposed to be your boy, oh, that made me mad. Just why? And I know it's a movie, but dang, that made me mad.
now something that we talked about before was mentioned before this scene when Donnie was upset with his mom.
Oh yeah,
And he was fussing at her, and he was saying that Dame, treated him more like a brother than her other two kids. And I'm like, okay, they're acknowledging that these
and
other kids
that's the
exist.
first time he's ever talked about that
Yeah,
they've even been talked about.
yeah. And we still don't see the kids or hear from them. And we should have seen them later in the movie. And we
I
don't.
agree.
That was stupid.
I agree. Yeah, that was interesting. And that leads into, he had that conversation with his mom, and then his mom ends up having another stroke, and she does pass away. And they have a conversation though, kind of he forgives her, she forgives him, and his mom kind of,
She was out
says,
of it. She was
yeah,
out
she
of it.
was, but she
She
still
thought she was talking to Apollo.
she said Adonis though too.
Yeah, she said both at first originally, but
Yeah.
then she switched to Apollo, and she just started
But
telling Apollo
she
about
told Adonis that he helped her forgive Apollo for leaving.
right,
So I
right.
thought that was huge. But this was a very sad scene. Losing a parent sucks. Trust me, I know that.
But this is I
So
was thinking like we're not gonna see these kids at the funeral. You got Donnie carrying.
if they were there, they didn't. Listen. These movies don't really care about the kids, man. I mean, Rocky barely sees his own kids. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Go ahead, man.
So Bianca tries to get Donnie to face his past and his feelings, but he does not want to think about this. This is just like she's asking about Leon. She's asking about the group home, which I mean, your wife has a right to know these things. That's
Hmm.
part of who you are. That's part of, you. So, and he kind of gets mad at her about it, and she tells him, I married you and everything that comes with it. So if you don't want to talk about this, fine. But you should really talk to somebody about it. And he should. I mean, that's a lot to keep in. That's a lot of stuff.
Right.
Um, he goes on First Take to talk about a few things. And this is funny to me because I don't think this would happen on First Take. Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. But while
What?
he's talking about Diamond Dame, he calls and to call Adonis out to fight him,
Hmm.
which of
I
course
think
Adonis accepts.
I think Adonis was going to do. I think he went on the show to do that. And
Yeah,
I think Dame just beat him to it.
it really does seem like that, doesn't it?
Hmm.
So of course he goes back to the desert to train.
That's what I was wondering at first until I saw the airplanes.
It
Nah,
wasn't.
he was back in the desert.
It wasn't a desert.
Yeah, I
Oh,
didn't.
was it? So
No,
where is it?
It looks like it was at
Oh,
a
the
airline
desert was
a
in
hangar.
Philly, right? So this is L.A.
No. The
Desert
desert
wasn't
was
in Philly.
it was in L.A. It was definitely in L.A. This looked like when he was training outside because it seemed like they kind of
It looked like it was like in an abandoned airport hangar. That's
because we see the plane outside, but it does look like the desert where he was training at in the second movie. It does
Oh,
look
okay.
like that, but
That's what I
it
thought it
just
was.
I did too until I saw the airplane when they walked
You're
outside.
right.
When they walked out, and I was like, well, there's no airplane, there's no runway in a desert. So we
He
get a montage,
chose
Joe.
yes, but he chose Drago as his sparring partner.
Hmm. A bigger person, a
Interesting.
bigger guy.
Oh, you're
I
right
liked
because
it,
he's
but I didn't like it. I liked it, but I didn't like it.
Why didn't you
is
like
what
it?
it is.
Because he barely almost made it out alive in the last fight. How you gonna use him as a sparring partner? You barely gonna make it out alive out of your camp. You know what I mean?
Because
I think he knew Drago wasn't going to seriously hurt him or kill him.
But it's not about that though. It's just about like even that, bro. How many times do you see knockouts in sparring? We've all done it.
yeah,
I
but
feel like
Dame's coming to kill you. So who better to train with than a killer?
I
Yeah.
got you. I'm just saying though. That's like saying, oh, I'm gonna put Alex Pereira as my sparring partner in my camp, bro. You may not make it out alive. You may not make it healthy. You may not make
I
it
know,
healthy
but
to your
I
fight.
get you.
you know
I hear
this.
you.
Like you literally may not make it healthy to your fight. I'll use this example just because it's like you guys would understand. Like me and my body type. Imagine I say, okay, Avery, I'm gonna spar with you my whole camp, bro. Like I'm like Avery's a big, strong dude, man. He sidekicks you. I'm probably not gonna be able to feel my arm. Like it just like I get it. You're someone bigger than you. Do all that, but it's like, bro, that's like there's like a limit. There's like a stretch to it. Like, all right, we don't gotta go crazy. Like, let's relax.
I get you. I hear you.
Adonis does eventually open up to Bianca about his past with Leon, and the basic idea is Leon was part of the group home, and he used to beat on the boys, so that's why he went after him. Not great, but understandable.
Right.
But the crazy thing is to feel bad about that. Dame already had 2 strikes on him.
Mm-hmm.
If Dame would have ran into Leon himself, he probably would have beat him too. So to think you were the fully responsible for that, is a little crazy. But as kids, you don't think about that stuff. You just think, oh man, my boy got caught up. I didn't. I should have been there with him. I shouldn't have ran. So I get why he felt the way he felt, but at this point, it don't matter because they gotta leave it all in the ring.
Right.
So, fight night happens. Good fight.
Yeah, I liked it. And like we talked about earlier, I like how they did it where it started off like a normal fight. They had the crowd, they showed them fighting, and then it just gets really, really silent, gets really, really quiet. The seats are empty, and it's just them two in the ring trading blows. And when they come out of it's 12th round. Like they might have went into it in the second or third round. When we come out, it's
That's what I thought too. Okay, I thought I was crazy. I was like, did we time travel?
it was like they just zoned out for that whole time. All those rounds, they just zoned out and beat the hell out of each other. And then we get to the final round.
So the other thing that's a little interesting in this fight, because I don't remember, has Dame always wore black? Did he wear black in the first fight?
I don't remember.
But did you notice they got Donnie in white and Dame? Yeah. So it's like good versus evil, yin and yang, however you want to look at it. I thought that was interesting that they did it that way because Donnie hadn't wore white in all his other fights. Didn't he usually have like the red, white, and blue like his dad?
He had that in the first movie.
And he had red in the second one.
He had in the second one, and then in the third one he had black, but he had stripes in the black to make it look like the red, white, and blue.
So this was a choice. This was a director or a producer, someone's choice to make this like a good versus evil kind of thing. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Donnie's holding his own. Dame definitely is the stronger fighter, and he definitely stepped it up from the first fight. He's not pulling a lot of dirty stuff yet until Donnie starts getting to him a little bit. Then he pulls a few things, but for the most part, it's a pretty straight up fight.
Mm-hmm.
And in the last round, like you said, Duke tells him like, it's time to let everything go, man. You got to stop worrying about this, worrying about that. You got to let the dog out and go take it to this man. Otherwise, you're going to lose this fight.
That's it. Yeah.
And It takes a few minutes, but Donnie does that. Like
Well,
he listens to dude.
he got hit in the stomach. He got hit in the stomach hard, and he dropped down on one knee, and then he was able to dig down deep and get back up and take it to Dame.
I mean, they almost made it look like an anime fight. Like they made it look like his ribs came out.
That's what it was. That is what it was. It looked like an anime fight. Thank you.
Now,
that
to
punch,
me,
I'm saying that one punch, and it almost looked like it was going to come out his back.
I know
I
what
was
you
like,
mean. Yeah,
they reminded me of anime.
Yeah, I got you.
It looked like it was something weird. That's what it was.
Now, when Dame goes down because Donnie knocks him down, and then the bell sounds. So I didn't see the referee count Dame out.
He was out. He was out cold. If you're out cold, they don't count if you're out cold.
Yeah, they don't do it. Like Manny Pacquiao. When Manny Pacquiao got knocked out by Juan Manuel Marquez.
Yeah, I said the same thing, Gene. Yeah, I thought he got, because I couldn't remember from the first time I saw this movie. Yeah, if you're out cold like that, it's over.
Yeah, when he got knocked out with that overhand right, the referee went one and then said, "No, he's done. Like he can't even move. He's not. He's like he's out." So
yeah, which was, I mean, you wouldn't think Dame would go down like that. So that was pretty big of Donnie. So I thought that was interesting. So yeah, he's the champ again. You know, we go and he's with his family. Everyone's celebrating, and then he just kind of somberly walks into the locker room, and you know they're kind of back to being boys again for a minute, and that's interesting, man. How you can just you can go to war with somebody like that. I'm telling you though, I'm still not accepting that sucker punch. You could beat my ass in the ring all you want, but that sucker punch, I'm getting you back for that one.
So you wanted him to go into the locker room and just knock Dame the hell out. Like, I owe you one.
No, that's mean. That's not right. But, you know, maybe they're hanging out at a picnic, drinking some beers, and you just cold cock them one time.
All right. And that's pretty much it. Creed 3.
What
grade are we giving it?
At the end, his daughter's in the ring. And she's fighting.
That's a cute moment. That was a cute moment.
Yeah, I thought that was great. I thought that was fun.
3-4, baby.
You know that's what they're opening it up for. They're thinking about it.
Yeah, of course.
At the very least, they're thinking about it.
What grade? I'm not gonna lie to you. I would give this one I give it an A. Honestly, I mean, it wasn't a bad storyline actually at all. Like nothing was really bad about it.
Joe.
I'm gonna be honest. I've been torn a few times about this movie because there's a lot I liked about it. I thought it was interesting. Without Rocky, yeah, I get it. Okay, it doesn't need Rocky. The other problem I had was, you know, this storyline they made up out of nowhere where, you know, they bring this nobody that we know and all that. I was kind of hoping for like another Drago or another whatever. But all in all, this is what I was thinking when I first seen like the trailer and everything. But they made it work. They really did. They made it work. They piqued my interest, and I did enjoy it. And I thought Jonathan Mayer did a good job. So yeah, I'm an A all the way.
Yeah, I'm giving it an A also. I enjoyed it also, and like I said, it's along the same lines as the other two movies also. So
yeah, stay true to Rocky. It's the way you got to do it, man.
All right, so that's it. Next week, we're going to get back to Warrior. Season 2 of Warrior. We're going to try this again. We attempted to do this back in January, right? Was it January? Yeah. So now we're going to get back. We're going to try it again. So Warrior Season 2. You guys got any closing remarks?
No, I'm good.
No, man.
All right, cool. Don't forget to listen to Superflix. This week, Joe and I are going to do, this is going to be a fun Batman from 1966, the Batman movie from 66 or 68, whatever it was.
Adam West.
I ain't seen this since the early 80s, so I have no idea how this is going to go. So that should be fun. All right, everyone, stay safe. Let me try that again. Stay safe, stay strong. We'll holler at you next week, and I will play our music, even though Travis is here just watching.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.